Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? I have something all new from that iconic American luxury car company. Is this vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2025 Cadillac Optiq. This particular one is what they call a Sport 2 trim. But before we get into this, Monarch Orange, all new color specific on this Optiq. Let's talk about what's going on here. So Cadillac is doing the business when it comes to adding electrification to their lineup. Now, the good news is for those that still want internal combustion engine vehicles like the CT5, CT4, Escalade, so on and so forth, those vehicles are there for you. But unlike any other car company, they really have been adding a pretty stout lineup of electrified vehicles. Now, the biggest that they offer is that new Escalade IQ. Then you have the Vistic, then you have the Lyriq, and then this is gonna be the smallest that they offer. This is a compact crossover SUV that is fully electrified. Now, in this segment, what are some of the key players? Obviously, you're gonna see the Tesla Model Y. We could talk about the Audi Q4 e-tron, and don't forget the EQS series of electrified vehicles from Mercedes-Benz. Now, Cadillac likes to do things their own unique way, but is it the right way? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this Optiq and find out, is it the SUV of the year for 2025? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the proportions, they're really just right on this vehicle. And a lot of that has to do with it being a compact, but it's a little kind of on the larger side of the compact spectrum. If you're wondering, well, Joe, this looks about the same size as the Lyriq. Lyriq is a mid-size two-row. This is a compact two-row. Now at the front of the business, such really standout styling when it comes to their headlight design. So you have your LED waterfall daytime running lamp, you have your LED turn signals up top, and then you're gonna have your vertical stack of LED headlights. Now, of course, when you approach the vehicle with your key fob in your pocket, that is going to allow you to have that little sort of welcoming dance of lights. And that adds a little uniqueness to the Cadillac lineup. There is some gloss black. The good news is they're not trying to make it look like a fake vent. And with the blending of the black and the Monarch Orange really gives it a nice pop, gives it that sporty attitude. We have what Cadillac calls Vader Chrome on the lower corner area. Basically, it's a dark chrome finish, and then you have your gloss black, but really falls in nicely with their lineup of other electrified crossovers in the Cadillac series. Now, as we come across that front hood area, this is another area where I think Cadillac really struck gold. Of course, you're gonna have that iconic badge, going back to the early 1900s, full LED illumination, and then you have this laser etching that they put in the front nose that illuminates as well. Forward-facing camera, love that V formation, traditional design from Cadillac, and then working our way down, you have a large lower opening, and look at the way they even put some of the graphics into that centerpiece here that hides all that radar and sensing technology for all the systems. Behind there, you have full functionality because we do have a lithium-ion battery pack, but I really think the way they enlarge this lower grille area and put it in gloss black gives it a nice sporty style without going too over the top. But let me know what you think about the face of the new Optiq. Now, as we rise up, you got that slight bend to the hood, all of the crisp lines. These are design cues that Cadillac really focuses on to give their brand that standout style. And Monarch Orange, I'm telling you, it works on this vehicle. Now, as we come around the bend, you're gonna find some very, very sporty wheels. Gloss black with the black lugs. Of course, you got the Cadillac badge in the center. That's a 21-inch wheel. If you're wondering, well, what about the size of the tires? Tires, all four corners are going to be 275 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and this Optic is a dual motor setup. Now, what's interesting about it is that it's very unique in its operation. So most of your normal driving will be front wheel drive, where it's just using the single motor. Whenever needed, whether you're going on throttle, whether there's some slippage detected, it will send power and turn on the rear motor so that you have the all-wheel drive. The benefit of that is that it's gonna help with your range overall, because you're not gonna have both motors going all the time, especially if they're not needed, if you're just cruising on the highway. Now, another thing they worked on is an all-new suspension system, and I'm gonna have Lori kind of zoom in and show you that shock absorber. So the dampers, all four corners, are very unique to this vehicle. It's a system where they use this dual valve technology to give the perfect amount of handling, but also comfort going down the road. The one thing I'm gonna zonk is I don't like the gloss black around the fender openings. Not my favorite, but it does pop nicely with the Monarch. I just wish that it was all painted around the fender openings, especially for a luxury vehicle. Now, coming down the side, gotta let them know you're riding in a Cadillac. Like the way they give you this corner glass here, help with visibility and blind spots. You do have your gloss black on the mirror caps, your 360-degree cameras. I like the way they painted the support for your side mirror. And then the proportions. This is one of those ones that, like I said, really competes with the Model Y and the Audi Q4 e-tron. The two-tone, I think, cuts the Monarch Orange just enough to where it's not too obnoxious. You got flush-mounted door handles for aerodynamics, and they just look really good with the LED lighting. Down below, some gloss black and some of that Vader chrome, that blacked out chrome finish. Coming down the side, you'll notice how Cadillac's been adding this quarter glass decorative style. Some people are loving it, some people are not really digging it. I don't know, I feel like on the Optic it works the most because it gives like a sporty attitude. And one thing you'll notice is all these lines actually flow into the taillights. Look at the way the lines are etched into the taillights. Same thing on the quarter glass back here. And then when we spin around back, they made me a happy camper. You don't even have a wiper. The way they did the aerodynamics allows all of that rainwater, because this has actually got an opening up top, allows that rainwater to just coast right off. So you have actually a dual wing up top with your style there, third brake light, and then you have your wing down below, which gives it a nice kick up. And I like the way that it's in black. Just like all the other Cadillacs, they do lighting so freaking well, man. Love that style. One of the other things I got to zonk is this freaking badge. 500 E, they should just put E4. 500 is not the amount of horsepower, it's not the amount of pound-feet of torque, it's an amount of torque in Newton meters. I think it just confuses people. People are like, what's 500? I just tell them the top speed. LED lighting in the taillights, the way it drips down past the body color into this lower area. Of course, you got another Cadillac crest that illuminates, and this is also the button to raise your lift back. Really digging how they're doing the style on the letters of the different names. Like I said, Optic, Lyric, Vistic, Escalade IQ. That's your lineup. And then working your way down to ground level, they did it nice with this gunmetal gray finish. I like the way they added some nice little vertical lines, some edging in there just to give it a little bit more edge. And really, really clean and sporty on the back. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what the heck is underneath it in this Optic. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. I know a lot of people like the idea of a front-mounted trunk. The Optic does not have one, but what you are able to see is that motor that is positioned up front. That's the one that's gonna run the majority of the time Like I said, the other motor will turn on the rear axle when needed. But what do we have? The two motors, they produce 300 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. It has an 85 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack, 0 to 60 in about 5.1 seconds, top speed 112 miles an hour, and this vehicle has a range of 302 miles. Now, the way that breaks down, MPGEs, it's 111 MPGEs in the city, 94 MPGEs on the highway. The vehicle weighs 5,200 pounds and can charge 79 miles of range. On a DC fast charger, it could charge 79 miles of range in just 10 minutes. And that new damper technology I was talking about, the official name for it is called Passive Plus. That's gonna give you that sporty ride, but also traditional Cadillac handling. But I gotta give it to Caddy for coming up with a unique system like this to where you're just running on one motor until needed. That kind of makes sense to help with that range. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn it on and see it zoom. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Monarch Orange Optic from Cadillac. This one being the Sport 2 trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'll be honest with you. I like what Cadillac is doing with their electrified vehicles, more so than any other brand. My grandpappy had a Cadillac Eldorado. My mom had a Cadillac Alante. I think I need to get a Cadillac. How much is this one? MSRP for this particular one is $62,000. Let's see that Cadillac style in this Optic to the door panels. Not my favorite. So up top we have this very thick cloth material. It looks good. I'm just not a big cloth kind of guy, especially on the top portion of the armrest, but where they nailed it are the seat controls. You have two memory settings for the passenger, ventilated seats, heated seats, full electric assist, and massage seats for the passenger and driver. I like the soft touch in the center. A little bit of gloss black around the switchgear, but nothing too crazy. Even the way they do the aluminum door handle there that you pull up looks really fantastic. Some contrast stitching, and then we have the AKG premium sound system with those beautiful speaker grill covers. A little bit of this white aluminum style trim with some LED ambient lighting, and then you have a fully carpeted door pocket, so you'll be able to easily make that run to Einstein Bagels. Get 4 everything bagels with extra smears of cream cheese, and you could even get a few Danishes in there for your friends that don't like bagels. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, the soft touch is great. The cloth, let me know in the comment section. It's just not, like my grandmother used to say, it's not my cup of tea. I do like the way they integrated the AC vents, easy to control, don't have to go in the infotainment system. And then as you slide on in, what do we got? 33 inches of uninterrupted infotainment system screen. You got all the goodies. The whole Google Maps, the whole Google suite of operation. We go to our home screen. I like when it comes to ambient lighting, they already have like these curated choices for you that you could choose, or you can make up your own. So that's kind of nice. I have it on radiance right now because I feel very radiant talking about this Optic. And that's what we went with for the video. Now we go back to home. What else we got going on? Drive modes: Sport, Tour, Snow, Ice, and then My Mode. Talking about My Mode. You could go Sport, you could go Tour. It's up to you. All those different things. That's why it's called My Mode and not Cadillac's mode. I'm going Sport mode. That's My Mode. Go back to home. What else we got going on here? Cameras. Look at the quality. GM does great camera quality. You got the corner cameras here so you don't scrape your beautiful 21-inch wheels. You could go overhead, you could go standard. No matter which way you want to do it, they got it for you. And then charging. You could set very easily how much you want to charge, how much time you want, and it tells you how much range you're going to get by doing that charging, which is nice. And then we go to vehicle status. Kind of cool. You could poke on the car and it gives you information, or that tells you what your tire pressure is, or you could come over here and get the information as well. So they give you a lot of information, including air quality. Right now, it looks like the status is good. I will be able to make it home alive by breathing the air around me. Now, as we drop down, we have more of that sort of white aluminum style trim with some ambient lighting in there. You got real controls for your AC. Nice to see that. Don't have to go into the infotainment system. It's dual climate. Love the way it's got that great technology down there. Now you have a pocket here, which is cool. This is gonna be where you put your Twinkies. You could put 8 Twinkies in here, 2 USB-Cs, and then down below is where you're gonna be able to put your your purse, a fanny pack, maybe a baseball cap, maybe even a tennis visor. You could put those down there. Maybe you wanna wear a visor and you wanna be like Serena Williams. Even though you have no athletic ability, you could put on a tennis visor just like her. We have this floating center console, which is really cool. You got a little pocket there for some Slim Jims. Oh yeah, real volume knob. You got that direct drive Cadillac control knob if you don't want to touch the screen. 2 cup holders. Same Cadillac key fob, but that's not a bad thing. You could remote turn it on, which is nice. Love the way you have all the nice material here. Not a fan of the cloth. It looks cool. I just don't know how it's gonna look a long time from now. Now you do have wireless charging. You just put your phone right there. This is where you're gonna wanna put your pearls, your rubies, your family jewels, so to speak. Everybody's gotta protect their family jewels. Whether you have them or not, you wanna protect them. And then you have down in there 2 USB-Cs and enough room to where you could easily put, I would say, 2 Rolexes, maybe a Rolex and a tag. You know you're rolling big. You know you're one of those people that doing the pictures where you're grabbing the wheel of your Optic with your Rolex and you're taking a picture so you can post it on the social webs. And then the seats, the leather, the stitching, the perforations. Look at this, nice bolstering, good wide area, a lot of wide area for that wide load that you're probably gonna stick there. And then of course up top, what do we got going on? Power shade, panoramic sunroof. Like the way it's got a shade, power shade. And then look at the AKG speakers. They're everywhere. It's like I'm being swarmed by AKG speakers and a digital rearview mirror. So why don't you come over here now? I want to show you behind the business end, behind the wheel of this Optic. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Now, you are going to hear a ding-dong sound, not because you're a ding-dong. It's because this is an EV, and because it's on, they want to make sure you're not just going to, roll away and get out and the car just drives right into a tree or something. So that's why the ding-dong is happening. Down below, I love the aluminum sill plate. The Cadillac crest illuminates when you open the door. Pedal box is almost perfect. Nice aluminum brake pedal, throttle. I just wish they would give me an aluminum dead pedal. What do I gotta do around here to get a freaking aluminum dead pedal? Seats are superb. Even with the sleek roofline, and I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room. Steering wheel, the leather. Of course, we got GM's coveted Super Cruise, that autonomous hands-free driving. There is some gloss black on the switch gear. Just make sure you have a microfiber cloth with you. You have that ingenious paddle to do braking, which is nice. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then one thing I wanted to show you is you actually have some touchscreen capability here when it comes to actually changing the screen. So I bring up the map. Look at that, all by touching the screen. You want it clean? You can have it clean. And then Lori's gonna swing on in to show you what it looks like from behind the wheel. Love the way the information is laid out. You have your electric shifter for your direct drive transmission, and there is a HUD, a head-up display. Nice to see all that technology, but now it's that time. It's not just about you. Even though you have massage seats up here, it's not just about you. Let's get into the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna enjoy this Optic. All right, guys, back seat time. You know, it's very spacious. I'm not going to deny that. What I'm not really happy with is how high my knees are. But other than that, I mean, I'm not close to the headliner. I got the AKG speakers for everybody in here. Backs of the seats, look how attention to detail, the soft touch, the stitching down the center. Nice pockets. You could put a couple of your favorite EV magazines in here, maybe plug in weekly, 12 socket, big outlet. Those are the magazines of the EV fans. Slide on in. What do we got going on? You got two little teeny tiny AC vents, but it's nice that we have AC vents back here. I like the way there's a home power source, 2 USB-Cs, and in the back seat you have heated seats, no ventilated seats. I'm gonna zonk that. I would like ventilated seats in the back, but you know, because this is a BEV, a battery electric vehicle, it is totally flat on the floor. It's just like I said, my knees, I just feel like I don't know, my knees are just a little high. But the great news is, pull that down, ooh, soft, 2 cup holders. Let's get in that cargo area because I want to go for a spin in this Optic. All right, guys, cargo area time. Like I said, you hit the Cadillac crest, rises right up, nice electric assist. Bumper isn't too high. What you're going to be greeted to is actually quite a usable amount of space for a compact SUV. What are we looking at? You're looking at 26 cubic feet of space with the seats up, 57 cubic feet of space with the seats down. And the seats, I told Lori we weren't going to do it, but the seats fold down very easily. There's one half. And then you have that other portion, nice and flat, which is great. And then you do have large nooks here for a gallon of chocolate milk on both sides. I like the way they added a 12 volt. That's always nice when you're at the beach and your kids want those damn rafts blown up and you want to save your oxygen for your lungs. Get yourself an electric air compressor. It's a piece of beauty when you could inflate their floatables very quickly. Underneath, you got all your charging accessories, which is great. And one thing that's probably gonna freak Lori out, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have her zoom in over here. We got a little bit of a stowaway. Our friend, the Optiq Spider. Yes, from the jungles of Detroit to Tampa, Florida. What a journey. We gotta buy that guy something to eat. But until that time, if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's go for a little on-throttle drive in the new Optic. All right, guys, we're inside this Optic. I've already selected Sport, and we're gonna go on throttle here. On throttle. So you're getting that all-wheel drive from the dead stop because we went on throttle, so the dual motors. And like I said, 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. You do get a little bit of sound that's pumped in through the speakers, but what's nice is that in my mode, you could actually shut that off. You could actually make that Tour or Sport, whatever you want to do, all through the My Mode section of the different mode selectors. Now, having that nice head-up display, great size, seats are comfy, and I really like the way that the visibility out the windshield, you know, it's not a large windshield, but because the A-pillars are pulled very far apart, you have great visibility, even with those little corner windows I was showing you on the exterior. And then out back, you got your digital rear view mirror, good size on the side mirrors. Having the floating center console makes everything easily accessible and just really has that balance of sportiness, but also a comfortable Cadillac riding experience, driving experience. Now, what's also perfect is that you're able to turn on and off the one pedal operation very easily. And you can make that adjustment from normal to extreme very, very quick, all by the touch of a button. So you can have it on the higher level or normal and you have that paddle on the back side of the steering wheel. Having the capability of just touching the left hand of the 33 inches of infotainment system to display whatever information you want. Very, very smart and just very intuitive. Steering wheel has a nice feel to it. They really worked on overall feel coming through the wheel, and when it comes to handling, these EVs, I mean, watch this. They handle very, very well because of their low center of gravity. I mean, look at this. Here we go. Nice. 21-inch wheels. And then we're gonna go on throttle here in a few seconds. Actually, I'm gonna come to a stop again. We'll go on throttle from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Really puts you back in the seat nice. But not too crazy, which is good. I think some people are just getting sick by the harsh acceleration in EVs, but handling wise, like I said, I mean, look at this. Very, very sporty. Nice. Not a bunch of body roll, not a bunch of bounce. Just really hunkered down. Gives you that confidence, that overall driving feel. And the sound really isn't too obnoxious. It has that Tron cycle sound, which is fine. As long as it doesn't sound like an internal combustion engine, I'm fine with that in these EVs. The proportions of the vehicle allow you to drive in traffic and feel good. You're not really worried about the people around you, which is nice. Just because you can see where the front of the car is, where the side of the car is, very, very easily. And just everything is well laid out here. Super duper smart to have the important controls. Heated seats, ventilated seats, your navigation, your massage seats, your AC, all that is real deal buttons and switches. Really like that fact. And then just having that smooth drive down the road. And of course, you have your Blue Cruise, which is so easy. Once you turn it on, it illuminates green, and then you can sit back and just enjoy the ride, so to speak. And it's not just highways. GM with their Super Cruise has a lot of back roads that they've recently added to their lineup. Unbelievable, the technology in this. And it does a great job when it senses a slower vehicle in front of you. It will change lanes all on its own. Or if you want to change a lane, you just got to use the turn signal and it will do all the other functions. I mean, watch this. So we looking to change lanes. It changes the lane. And then you're good. And it actually makes adjustments to the speed because it knows I want to be in this lane. But really, really incredible just how easy it is to use. And like I said, you want to turn it off, you just turn it off and you're good to go. But really, really a well thought out SUV from Cadillac. I know electrified isn't everybody's thing, but this one does have some really stellar stats that go with it. Very, very impressed with what Cadillac has done, and it's nice to have some good options out there. But we're going to go ahead and get back to where this one started so that we can wrap it up So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways with this Cadillac Optiq. Definitely got to thank the whole Cadillac team for getting us access to this press-free vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you ready for the future, which is now? Going with the Optiq compared to the competition, and has really Cadillac just nailed it perfectly with the engineering and the technology behind this Optiq to make it SUV of the year? Let me know in that comment section how you're feeling. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. We got to thank Latte Lori. That's her official name. Whenever you see her in public, just yell out Latte Lori. She'll know exactly who you're talking about and talking to. Lori, always down in the caffeine with her lattes that she makes at her very own coffee bar at home. So thank you, Lori, for caffeinating. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.